Social Studies Reviewer Drills Part 2. If you fail an examination, it means you have not yet mastered the subject. With diligent study and understanding, you will succeed in passing the exams. Trust yourself, you know more than you think you do. Don't forget to like this video. Subscribe and click the notification bell for more update. Let's start. 1. What factor was a major cause of both World War I and World War II? A. The spread of Marxian ideas into Europe. B. The dropping of atomic bombs. C. Nationalism and national borders. D. The rise of totalitarian fascist states. Two. In which organization is the Philippines a member to fight communist aggression? A. APEC. B. ASA. C. UN. D. CETO. Three. The theory that population increases by geometrical ratio while the means of subsistence increases by arithmetical ratio is attributed to? A. Karl Marx. B. Robert Malthus. C. Emile Durkheim. D. Aristotle. Four. In what instance is the Filipino double standard morality shown? A. A couple brings their sick child to the doctor then later to the espiritista. B. Young parents bring up their children in a manner different from how they were brought up. C. Illiterate parents are eager to send their children to school even if they themselves did not go to school. D. A married man who flirts with someone else other than his wife seems acceptable but a married woman who flirts with another man is condemned. Five. Which part of Asia does the Arabian Peninsula occupy? A. Northwest. B. Southeast. C. Southwest. D. Northeast. Six. The important factors which have contributed to the weakness in the internalization of desirable values is the A. Lack of models among the very people expected to exemplify these values. B. Use of approaches which are mainly cognitive rather than effective. C. Lack of follow-up systems from one grade level to another. D. Minimum recognition and appreciation given to teachers. Seven. To govern is to rule and the government rules by laws. Whose main duty is the enforcement of laws? A. Police Department. B. Judiciary Department. C. Legislative Department. D. Executive Department. Eight. The term that refers to the class of Filipinos who were free and independent. A. Timawa. B. Maharlika. C. Aliping Namamahay. D. Aliping Sagwigilid. Nine. The Spanish expedition responsible for naming the archipelago Filipinas. A. Magellan's Expedition. B. Loarcai Expedition. C. Legazpi Expedition. D. Villalobos Expedition. Ten. The third and last military governor of the Philippines was A. General Wesley Merritt. B. General L. Otis. C. General Arthur MacArthur. D. General Douglas MacArthur. 11. Which Katipunan member commuted from Cavite to Manila to buy materials used to make ammunitions? A. Teresa Magbanua. B. Agueda Esteban. C. Teodoro Alonzo. D. Trinidad Texan. Which economic system is based on free enterprise? A. Globalism. B. Mixed economies. C. Capitalism. D. Communism. How is the so-called colonial mentality manifested? A. Cultural relativism. B. Cultural diversity. C. Xenocentrism. D. Ethnocentrism. Which is a safeguard against unfair trade practices like short weighing? A. Total quality movement. B. Consumerism. C. Consumer vigilance. D. Substandardization. If the 7 continents were arranged from largest to smallest, in which order does Australia fall? A. 4th. B. 5th. Circa 6th. 8. 7th. In which continent can we find stormy Cape Horn, which is known as the graveyard of ships and sailors? A. Africa. B. Australia. C. South America. D. Asia. Which led to the creation of Pakistan as a nation in 1947. Religious differences between A. Hindus and Christians. B. Christians and Muslims. C. Hindus and Buddhists. D. Hindus and Muslims. Which is common to Sun Yat-sen and Mahatma Gandhi? A. Promoted a society ruled by religious leaders. B. Rejected violence as a way to political power. C. Led a successful nationalistic movement in their respective countries. D. Supported Marxist philosophy to change existing governments. Nebuchadnezzar was to the Babylonian Empire as Ashoka was to the blank empire. A. Roman. B. Gupta. C. Greek. D. Maurya. With the opposition of the parity rights in mind, who does not belong to the group? A. Claro and Recto. B. Jose Laurel. C. Manuel Roxas. D. Pedro Taruk. When the Filipino reformists asked for the assimilation of the Philippines by Spain, what did they ask for? For the Philippines to blank. A. Become independent from Spain. B. Become a province of Spain. C. Be independent from Spain with certain conditions. D. Be represented in the Spanish Cortes. Who among the presidents changed the date of our celebration of Independence Day from July 4th to June 12th? A. Ramon Magsaysay. B. Diosdado Macapagal. C. Carlos Garcia. D. Ferdinand Marcos. (23) In which country did the Philippines participate in the world's peacekeeping operations by sending doctors, nurses, soldiers and police? A. Israel. B. East Timor. C. Iraq. D. Iran. (24) In which poem did Rizal write about offering one's life for one's country? A. A la Juventud Filipina. B. Song of Maria Clara. C. Sa Aking Mga Kabata. D. Mi Ultimo Adios. (25) As an effect of our geography, in which of the following islands do people travel mostly by water? A. Luzon. B. Mindanao. C. Visayas. D. Visayas and Mindanao. Answer key. 1D. 2D. 3B. 4D. 5C. 6A. 7D. 8A. 9D. 10C. 11B. 12C. 13C. 14C. 15D. 16C. 17D. 18B. 19D. 20C. 21B. 22B. 23C. 24D. 25C. Thank you and God bless.